Hey everyone, my name is Chris and this is me here. I've owned chrisbell.com for quite a while now, and this is just an IP address which is 111.222.333, and they created a way of using characters so that people would have an easier way to access your website so that you could display everything that you want and then tell someone to come to chrisbell.com. Well, in the blockchain for Ethereum, you can also use chrisbell.eth, and that allows someone to pay you through the Ethereum blockchain with Ether or with any of the tokens used on the Ethereum blockchain. So a lot of these tokens like EOS and OMG that are popular tokens, Mana for Decentraland, and I created my own token just for fun, but these are tokens that can be used and you can send them to chrisbell.eth, which is this long Ethereum address. So typically you would copy this address and you can go to etherscan.io, which is here. This is my address. But I just copied it, so I can double click this and you can see the triple D in the beginning. Triple D. This is my address here. So when you go to this address, you can see all of the Ethereum that I have, which is about $1,500, 13 Ether, and this is the token balance here. A lot of you probably understand. These are all the different tokens. Some of these airdrops, I don't even know what some of these things are. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. I have 19,000 of them, and I have no idea how I got them. Someone just did an airdrop, and they're worth nothing. It would say that they're worth something right here, 81 cents. So I have a couple of cents of O coin, don't know why. The Ripio network, I have this RCN. This is for loans on Decentraland, which is land and you can get a mortgage. So this is a coin that you would use for that. So I know why I have that one, but I don't know what this one is. So chrisbell.eth forwards to this, just like chrisbell.com forwards to the IP address. You just don't see the IP address anymore because we've gotten so far with www internet websites that this is just the normal way of thinking about a website now, and you don't realize that it's actually going to an IP address. So typically we would so if you wanted to send you some Ethereum or a token, you would copy this address and then paste it to them, and then they would send money to this address. They would copy and paste it, and you would come to your MetaMask, or you would plug in your Ledger or plug in your KeepKey, any device that you have, or use myetherwallet.com, and you would send Ether, and right here to the recipient, you would paste that address. And I'll just click here so you can see that triple D. So you copy and paste these addresses quite often, but I wanted to show you what this actually is. So a lot of people are going to eventually use their name and tell people, please just pay me Ether or any token. And once you send me a token, I can come to my Ether wallet and swap that token for Ether. So you can click here and see these different things, like Mana is a token, the one for Decentraland. You can use OMG, RAP. A lot of these might look familiar to some of you depending on which coins you like, but a lot of them transfer for Ether. So even if you send me some random token, I can accept any token and then transfer right into Ether, and I am comfortable with Ether. I know what Ether is worth, but if I click on Mana, I can go here and say 1 Ether. So if someone sent me 3,000 Mana tokens, I can transfer it quickly right into this, but they can send me Ether or Mana or any other Ether token directly to chrisbell.eth. And if you're using my Ether wallet, there's one of them that allow it. Some of the ledgers, the hardware wallets, don't allow this just yet, but it's getting more popular. You come to this ENS area right here, which is Ethereum name server instead of domain name server. If you go to GoDaddy, it would be DNS for domain name server, which is my domain chrisbell.com. But now we have this payment portal that we can use for Ether. So if you type in chrisbell.eth, check and see if it's available. It's going to tell you that it's not, it's already owned, and you can see the triple D right here. It's owned by me. I was the highest bidder for this because I opened it and then I bid on it. You can open anything that's not there yet. So if I add a Z to this, you're going to see that this is probably available, completely available. I use my MetaMask, I open it. Might as well just go into it right now, connect to MetaMask. It's going to connect. I can buy this if I want to. So what happens here is you open up this auction for crispbellz.eth. The bid amount is the minimum 0.01 ether. Leave these two the same, and then remember this 3-word password right here, start the auction, and it will tell you in 3 days that you can come back and just keep coming back and looking at it. It will tell you there's 2 days and 3 hours left, 1 day and 3 hours left, 3 hours left, and then once you have it available, you use this phrase right here. It walks you through it continuously. If you just keep coming back to it, it will walk you through the entire way of connecting this. First you buy it, you open the auction, and the reason that it opens the auction is to allow anyone to get it. When they first opened up domainsforsale.com, anyone could just go in and start buying them. So to stop someone from going in and just buying them and to make it a little bit more fair, you actually have to open this for auction for 3 days, and anybody can bid on this. So if someone outbids you, and they probably won't outbid you for your name unless you have a really popular name, but at this point it's not that big of a deal. But I can go in, if I click on this right here and it says that it's open for auction during those 3 days, I can bid 0.02 on this and end up stealing this from you. And then I have it forever, and you can put it back up for sale as well. So I own one called Spikeball, which is a popular game going around now, .eth, and I'm selling it for 0.2 ether because I bought it for 0.01. So spikeball.eth is available for purchase or auction. You can buy this domain by paying 0.2 ether to me, and it's right here. So you can do this if you want to. What I did was I put this into a smart contract, which is kind of like an escrow. It's a technological escrow contract that's all written in code. So this is sitting in a random contract right now because I put it in there, and basically the if statement is if an address pays 0.2 ether to that smart contract, transfer this to that address that paid and transfer this ether to the address that put it in, which is me. So it's completely trustless. You do not have to trust me first and say, hey, Chris, I'd really like to buy a Spikeball from you. I'd offer you 0.18. And I say, okay, send me 0.18, and then I promise I'll send this to you afterwards. No, that's not how it works. I send this into an escrow smart contract, which isn't some company. There's no company involved. It's just a total program that says if 0.2 ether shows up in this, immediately transfer Spikeball to that address and immediately transfer this to the person who put it up for sale. So I'm not selling my own name. I have my own name transferring to me. I'm just selling this one because I thought it was a good one, but the ENS name is mine. If I wanted to send ether tokens, I connect. Hold on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my ether address to another address. I have a few different ones. So I'm going to, no, this one's got $16 in it. That's my baby girl. This is a different address. There's no more DDD anymore. This is a different address that I'm in my MetaMask. You can create as many as you want, and you don't need any personal information. You don't put your first name, your last name. I can create an address right now, and I don't have to do anything. It just gives me an address, and I have a password to connect to my MetaMask, and I can use that address if I want to. So I'm going to send to chrisbell.eth. There we go, which you can see the DDD right there. That's my address. I'm going to send 0.01 ether. And let me go back here and just show you I have 13.107. You can see the triple D right here, and it ends in 364. I have 13.1, so I'm going to have 13.11 in about 30 seconds after I send this. Again, you don't need your personal name, you don't need anything, but this is your personal name, so it's kind of backwards in that sense. You're doing this to be anonymous, and you're not quite anonymous. Every transaction that I've ever made on this address is on the blockchain right here. It shows all my transactions. Last time I made a transaction was 2 days ago, 6 days ago, and I sent 0.01 ether. So I'm going to send this right now. The gas limit, if everybody is putting in transactions right now at 21,000 and you change this to 31,000, you're going to spend about 3 cents more to be first in line, and you end up sending that very quickly. So generate transaction, blah, 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 blah. you can actually see the 169 right here address is the one I'm sending it from, and my DDD address right here that it's going to. And I sent 0.01 again, first address, second address. But all I did was type in chrisbell.eth, and you get a in Ethereum to send any token that you want. And the gas fee right here is 15 cents, but it won't be 15 cents. I increased it from 21,000 up to 31,000 right here, so it's saying it could cost 15 cents, but it's probably going to cost a lot less. It cost me 0.00127 to send 0.01 to this address, which is only $1. So you can send very small transactions to people, and it's a very low fee. So I'm going to go to the Etherscan. I don't even have to go to this technically. I could have just shown you in my address the last transaction. So it's going from this address to this address. You see the 1693, which is my Lily address, and it's going to this one, which is chrisbell.eth. I typed that in myself. I never copied and pasted the address. I didn't have to know the address. This is kind of like the IP address that chrisbell.com forwards to. Now this is chrisbell.eth, and it forwards to this because I set it up that way. Refresh. Not yet. This is actually a little slow. Refresh again. Taking a couple minutes. A few seconds from this address to this address. I did this a while ago, but I'm going to do it again. This is actually the same address, so I must have been doing something similar. Here's the confirmation right here. Already went through. Probably took less than a full minute to do that. That's my MetaMask confirming that the transaction went through. This is a success. It went from this address, which I can click on, and it will show that I sent money out from this address to this address, out 0.01. And you can see I did that 2 days ago as well, out and into this address. I'm going to go back, and this is the address that I sent it to, which is chrisbell.eth. And as you can see, it only cost 10 cents. It said I was going to spend up to 15 cents, but all I did was bump it from 21,000 up to 31,000 so that it would go a little faster. It did go faster, but it looks like 10 cents. It would have gone a little slower if I did 21 cents, and it might have only cost 21,000. It might have only cost me 6, 7, 8 cents, but 10 cents. And it doesn't matter. I could have sent $35,000 from this address to this address. It still would have only cost 10 cents. This is for anything, 10 cents. So it's very cool using the blockchain like that. I just sent it to chrisbell.eth, and you can see now chrisbell.eth, it should say 11. Let me just refresh. 117. There it is. So this one was before. I just did it again. 0.01, and that is how ETH names work. I've bought a bunch of them. I own probably 1,500 or so of them. I bought them all at 0.01, and I'm selling a lot of them at 0.2. So if anyone goes on to myetherwallet.com up here and clicks on ENS and they type in their personal name. So what else do I have? Bob Cousy. It's an old basketball player called Dr. J. Can be purchased because I own it already. But here's the thing. You don't see the DDD in this address right here. The owner of this address right now is the escrow contract. I bought this and I own it, but it's in this escrow contract right now, so it's in a different address. And if anybody sends 0.2 Ether to this address, it's going to keep the 0.2 and send it to me, and send the bobcousy.eth to them. So they'll be able to start using that and tell people, if you don't want to use your real name and you want to use an old celebrity, this guy has passed away at this point, or maybe he's an old basketball player, but he actually might still be alive. I'm not too sure, but anybody can use this. Anyone can use Justin Bieber, and it may not be Justin Bieber. It could be someone else. They just own this, and they're pointing it to their address, and they could say, send some money to justinbieber.eth, and it will go to whoever owns that address, whoever is pushing it toward their address. But this is pretty cool. I don't have this resolving to any address right now, so if you sent money to bobcousy.eth, it wouldn't go anywhere. It probably wouldn't even allow you to do it because it's not resolved to any address. But if you click on Chris Bell again, once you're done with the auction and you've done the bid and you've entered all of that, you have to keep going through and it will ask you to resolve the address, and it resolves to this address. So not only am I the owner of this address, I'm the owner of the other address as well. I sent it the contract to sell it, but I'm also the person who chrisbell.eth is sending to this address, which obviously you just saw 2 seconds ago. So if you wanted to buy your name and you wanted to accept cryptocurrency payments to your name.eth, you would just resolve it to your address, which is in your MetaMask or your Ledger, and people can send you money on myetherwallet.com directly to your name without even knowing your address. They'll quickly see your address, so you can't hide this address, but it's much easier to send it to this, just like it's much easier to go to chrisbell.com instead of going to 111.222. And I have a master's degree in IT with a focus of web design and database administration. That's how I understand the blockchain, and that's why I got so into it. I love the blockchain. I think it's incredible. I don't own Bitcoin because I think that it's going through the roof. I don't think it's I don't even know how exactly to assess the value of it, and I'm not going to claim that I do. I'm not going to claim that it's going up or down, but I do claim that people are going to start using this stuff way more often. You can send transactions for so cheap. You can go to Aruba right now, and I can go to Aruba and tell someone to open up an Ether address and send me Ether to chrisbell.eth, and they can do it in 5 seconds like I just did on the Ethereum blockchain. Countries don't matter. Nothing matters at all where you are at all. It's all on the internet. As long as their phone has a connection to the internet, they can send you money with a blockchain. So some little tiny remote, if you go to Aruba and you start walking down the street and you can you want to pay $1 for a bracelet to somebody on the side of the street, you just pull out your phone and you scan the QR code on their phone, and you can send them a little Bitcoin, a little Ethereum, and you can buy that bracelet and they'll have that money immediately. It's not like using a credit card, because a credit card is on credit. You owe that money afterwards, and you can deny the credit card. But if you send Bitcoin to somebody else's phone, you no longer have access to that Bitcoin. You can't call anyone and say, please give me that Bitcoin back. It's like handing someone $5 and then you leave Aruba and go home. There's no one you can call to say, hey, what about that $5? Tell them to ship the $5 back to me. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is cash, and when you transfer it, it's in the other wallet forever. They decide to send it back to your wallet. But this is a very easy way to open up your name if you want to as a payment portal, which I think is very, very cool. So if you have any questions, please let me know, and I will talk to you a little bit more about it for free. Thank you.